he got vaccinated, a very, very public press conference in January of 2020. And then 5 months later, he had, and this is the first time that we knew this from the diary, he had a pulmonary infarction, which is one of the adverse events that NIH, CDC, and FDA said are expected from the vaccine. He never told anybody. He got treated for it privately by the best doctors in America. At the same time, he was telling everybody that that was not an adverse event.
Went to Johns Hopkins right here in Maryland and got treated. Nicole, what are your thoughts on this?
Listen, again, you would be surprised. Well, maybe you wouldn't, but you would be bowled over by how many people went to Hopkins privately and got treated for MIs, for TIAs, for strokes, all of these cardiovascular and other vascular incidents. And it's still happening today. Because what we do know about this so-called vaccine is that it doesn't wear off. It lives inside of your body. We have personally a very good personal friend of mine, husband healthy as a horse, literally in the gym lifting, 3% body fat. This man is religious, eats clean, does all of the things, has a massive heart attack at the gym. What saved his life is that the gym is down the street from the hospital. That's what saved his life. Why would an ordinary healthy man suddenly have this? You know why? J&J. He had the J&J vaccine, not because he wanted to be vaccinated, but because the only way that he could pay his mortgage and feed his children was by getting the jab. Now, they had suspended him because he didn't want to do it. He protested as much as he could. But when the bills came due, because for some of us, the bills did not stop. The bills came due and he had to do what he had to do. Fast forward 6 years. Now he's laying at death's door. It took months for him to recover. Months for him to recover. And to see him now, he's the shell of his former self. He's still trying to get back onto his feet where he was before this so-called vaccine attacked him. So Fauci knew, again, he knew what he was working with. He knew exactly what he was doing. But because, again, Anthony Fauci was an immunologist looking for
a virus.
I don't want to say looking for a virus. He was looking for a way to make his name with any virus. It started with HIV. He did the same thing with bird flu. I mean, he made this big grandiose thing about the bird flu and this and that. We were like, bro, sit down. We got this. We don't need the government's intervention. One thing I can tell you about American medicine, when you hear that the government is involved, it's going to turn out poorly. It is going to turn out so poorly because there are too many chiefs and not enough Indians. Everybody's got a little bit of Fauci in them. They think they're God. You have to deal with all of these theoretical people when they're not boots on the ground people. We were fortunate enough to keep them out of the bird flu. We were very fortunate to keep them out of the bird flu, and that's why it's not an issue, right? We could have handled COVID. It would not have been an issue, but this was Fauci's moment. This was his moment to leave his mark on American medicine. And guess what? He has. And it is just what Bernie Moreno said. This is not a good look. 50 years of you working in the United States government has boiled down to this moment. You're a traitor to this nation, a traitor to this nation. And I don't care how many celebrities line up behind you. Don't care about how many Democrats line up behind you, because privately they feel the same way that we do.
Wow. Folks, come on in here. We again are talking about Dr. Fauci being on trial, on hearing today, congressional hearing, pleading the fifth. And folks, as you come in, hit that like button. We want more and more people to see this, as many people as possible. Hit that like button and make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already. We are fired up, folks. All right. And to make matters 10 times worse, if you guys remember, the media was behind this whole thing, hook, line, and sinker, folks. And guess what? They were behind it a lot more than we actually realized. All right. One of the main people was Jake Tapper. Here he is again, being exposed. It was exposed in Fauci's diary. He and Jake Tapper were like this. They were very good friends. He was having private dinners with Jake Tapper, and also speaking, Fauci was feeding him information on interviews prior to it going live on television. Take a look at this. This is clip 6. This is Jake Tapper on clip 6. He was right behind. He was on fire for his buddy Fauci. Now we know why.
The White House campaign to undermine Dr. Fauci is dishonest. It's disgusting. It's deranged. And at a time of a deadly pandemic, it is the ultimate in irresponsibility.
Wow. Okay. Well, he wasn't saying that just to be objective. Folks, the diary shows Tapper referenced in Fauci's diary 41 times. Mm-hmm. He had dinner over at Jake and Tapper and Jen Tapper's home in D.C. Terrific couple, friendship building, he said. This is Fauci, July of 2020. October 2020, had dinner at home with Jake and Jennifer Tapper. Relaxed, good time. Jake clearly believes that Trump is totally nuts. This is Fauci's writing in his diary. All right, that was October of 2020. April of 2020, after he writes, after an appearance on Tapper's show, phone call with Jake Tapper. Jake wanted to make sure the interview did not cause me any problems. This is your media, folks. All right. July 2020, Fauci wrote that Brett Giroir was on Tapper. That's the State of the Union, talking bullshit about testing with Jake pressing him. I gave Jake some questions to ask him. All right. Later that day, Tapper texted and called, furious at Trump for criticizing the interview. This is Fauci writing in his diary about all this stuff, his friendship with Jake Tapper. Shelley, your thoughts?
My thoughts are, I'm going to quote Marge Teray, media, most effective devil in America. Mm-hmm. Our media's primary goal, other than saying the truth and being objective, is to challenge government, okay? On behalf of the American people, media is supposed to be able to, question, dig in, do investigative reports, all kinds of things that from towards the government or against the government. For the American people, that's not what they want to do. They want to hobnob. They want to knock, I'm going to say knock boots, but okay, in a clean sense, if you will, right? We had Gavin Newsom out there. He wants to look pretty boy for the camera. He's at the French Laundry, okay? Cuomo in New York, the nurses, the lowly people. The lowly people told him not to put other people in those nursing homes because the elderly population was a population that was under risk, an at-risk population. Mm-hmm. No, that didn't matter. Those people had to be commingled with those other nursing home residents, and thousands died, okay? But these are just the lowly people. We're not of the likes of Fauci and the Cuomos and the Newsoms and the Burks and all those other people. No, we're not. So we don't deserve the same status or appreciation just as Americans. So this is why two things. This is why now in 2026, this is why we have more, more people believing, not trusting the government, number one, thanks to all of this from COVID, even more so than at any time in our history. And this is why I believe there's more people believing, or maybe even advocating, if you will, certainly saying that we do have a two-tier system of justice. There is justice for thee and not for me. That's how it works. If you had the status, if you had the money, the prestige, you will have a different justice than the lowly American people that we pay for your salary and all the other graft things that you do. I was floored almost when I heard how many awards and accolades this man petitioned for. Not only did he do it himself, he did it on government time. That's our time. That's our time. He did it on government time, using government resources and using government employees to do his bidding. I mean, he made out like a bandit, as they say.
Yeah, Nicole. It wasn't just Jake Tapper. All right, Dana Bash on CNN. Okay, after Fauci's heated exchange with Representative Jim Jordan, Bash texted Fauci. All of this is in Fauci's diary, folks. All right, for you guys just coming in. Fauci wrote these things privately, but did something else publicly. He wrote in the diary about Dana Bash, I just watched the whole Jordan thing. Again, you're a better man than I. As our friend Wolf Blitzer said to me yesterday, no one would have blamed you if you had simply, if you said simply, Mr. Jordan, go F yourself. She later pointed him to a Vanity Fair headline mocking Jordan. This is what Fauci wrote that Dana Bash said to him about this interview. Also, Chuck Todd from NBC, Fauci's put in the diary. Fauci sought his advice on whether to respond to criticism from Fox News. All right. Andrea Mitchell, again, another one, called Fauci's cell to apologize for not booking him on air. Okay. No wonder this guy had a God complex.
Of course. They were all kissing the ring. I mean, he was a Democrat rock star. This is what I mean by he was waiting for the illness to come along to be able to be king. Bigger than the president, bigger than the Senate, bigger than any representative and the Supreme Court. This entire nation moved around the words that came out of his mouth. And our media, of course, our mainstream media, and a lot of our social media platforms are equally to blame.
Right.
You remember those hearings when they called Zuckerberg in to talk about how people got deplatformed, how people were thrown away. Same thing before X became X, back when it was Twitter. What happened? Why were these particular posts and messages taken away? These are Americans voicing their opinions. Who told you to take it down? Well, the government told me to take it down. Well, who in the government told them to tell you to take it down? Fauci. This
Pretty
man
much
controlled this nation, not elected. Not elected. And mind you, this damn diary that KJ is reading from, that's spilling almost all of the tea, because there's some tea in the diary. There's some tea in the diary, was made on the government dime, and it's on a government computer. It's not even his damn diary. It's his words, but it belongs to us. And that's how Dr. Paul got it.
Absolutely. That's how
Dr. Paul got it, because he had so much hubris that he never thought in a million years that anybody in the United States government would say, no, I don't care if you don't want me to share this. You did it on a government computer. It belongs to the United States government and to the people of the United States. And he stood on business with him. And it was a rough and tumble and tangle. And thank God that Donald Trump got elected. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Thank God, or we would never hear any of this.
What's up, everybody? This is Poppin' Politics. Get your merch. Are you a Poppin' Politics fan? Are you unapologetically American? Or not black, not white American? We got it all for you right here. Get your merch.
Get the classic shirt. Classic. Goes with everything, comes in a variety of colors. Smart, edgy, conservative, like us, like you. This is a great way to support the channel. Click the merch button.
There is no shame in being an American. Get your shirt today and be unapologetic about it. Get your shirt, wear it, and be a proud American.
You can get it all in t-shirts and hoodies. You can get it in stickers, on bags. You can get it all on our website, metroconservativemedia.com, or our YouTube page, Pop and Politics, and tag over to store. You can get your merch and show you're proud to be an American and support Pop and Politics.